Hey guys, and welcome to today's episode of How to Play Guitar with fucking Rob. That's right, we're back with the fucking, because enough people who actually watch the show have complained about me dropping the effing. So we're bringing it back, thanks to popular demand. And in fact, there is just one person who complained about it, who I'm sorry to him that I'm bringing it back, but you gotta go with the majority on this one. So today's episode is entitled Play Your GD Guitar. That's right, play your GD guitar. You see what I did there? We're gonna talk about how to play the G, and we're gonna talk about how to play the D, your GD guitar. So of course, first thing that we want to do is make sure our guitar is actually in tune. We can review what we've gone over so far about how there are 12 notes. Of the 12 notes, there are only 2 that do not have a sharp, that being B and E. And of the 6 strings that we have here on our guitar, the standard tuning is eat a darn guitar, Bobby, eat. So we'll tune that up real fast. All right, now that we're all tuned up, we're going to learn about something called a chord box. Now, a chord box is going to look like this. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Rob, what the hell are we playing, Battleship right now? And no, we're not. See, all of these lines that go down like these are actually guitar strings, okay? So what we're going to do, so you can understand, is go eat a darn guitar, Bobby, and remembering that the top and the bottom are both E. So what you have here looks like this, okay? Basically, see how our guitar makes a grid? This is how the chord box translates that, so that way you can read how to structure the chord. Each line going down is what note on the guitar it is, what string on the guitar it is. And each line going this way is actually the fret. See how they match up? Okay. Now next what we gotta do is, how would you count with your hands, right? Well, you'd probably count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Simple stuff. Back to waxing my car again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, it's like this. 1, index. 2, middle. 3, ring. 4, pinky. 5, your thumb. Okay? Now, we're going to start off with a very simple guitar chord called the E minor. And the reason is because without me being there with you to actually explain how to fold your fingers around, I just want you to have an understanding of how to read the chord box and translate that onto your guitar. So we're going to start with an E minor, okay? E minor. Now, with the E minor, there are 2 strings that we're pressing our fingers down on. And the other strings, we're actually just leaving open. We're not even pressing on them. We want them to ring without anything touching them. So those ones, we put O's on the top of those strings. Now, the E minor, you want to use your middle finger, which is 2, and your ring finger, which is 3. And 2 will go here, and 3 will go right here. That's what we're going for. See where those 2 fingers are? 2 and 3? Not across the 1st fret, but across the 2nd fret. And These strings here are all open. We're just letting them ring casually. So, translating that onto our grid right here on the guitar, 2 middle on this string on this fret, 3 on the next string on the same fret. That's what we want. Here's what it's going to sound like. And it's really important that you don't allow your fingers to touch any neighboring strings. Okay? So when you play it, and this goes for any chord that you want to learn, you want to make sure that you sound it out. So just hit the strings one at a time. If your finger is accidentally resting on a neighboring string, it'll probably sound like this. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you're curling your finger in a way that your finger is not touching the neighboring string. That's your E minor right there. A lot of songs start off on the E minor. Following along? Everybody getting this? Make sure you sound it out. Okay, as we're getting into more challenging chords, I've put in green over here what fret number we're on. So here is G chord. And as you can see, our index finger, number 1, is on the 2nd fret on the A string. Our middle finger is on the 3rd fret on the E string. And over here on our high E, we have our pinky finger, again on the 3rd fret. Let's translate that over to guitar. Index on 2 on the A string. Middle finger on 3 on the E string. Pinky finger down here on your high E string on the 3rd fret. And you see those O's right there? That means those strings are open. Let's hear how it sounds. There it is. That's our G chord. Now here's another thing. If you're not pressing down hard enough on your strings, you might be hearing. You gotta make sure you're pressing down on those strings, and in the very beginning, it's gonna hurt. That's why I told you, make sure you run up and down the strings, pressing down, figuring out where to place your fingers, so that way you know how far back you need to be from the fret, so that way it cuts off the string properly without muting it. Make sure your fingers aren't accidentally touching a neighboring string, because you're gonna get something like this. Keep those fingers arched. This is a pretty big challenge for me too, because I don't know how to show you how to do this without being there. So there's going to be a lot of frustration right now. And while there is, just remember to come back to the E minor like I showed off. This is a nice, simple, basic chord. Remember how to read the grid, hear it a couple times, maybe hum along to it and be like, yeah, I play guitar, what's up? Because look at you. You literally are playing the guitar right now. You are a guitar player. So, that's our G. Something, you can just Google it. Guitar G chord. And these are what's going to pop up. These fret boxes. Our chord boxes. Now you know how to read them. So there's just one more I want to show off today. And that's going to be the D, because anyone will tell you, Rob Ash loves the D. So, there we go. Fret number 1, fret number 2, fret number 3, fret number 4. 1, our index. 2, our middle. 3, our ring finger. All right? Now let's translate that. Oh, and you see how there's these X's up here? That means we don't play those strings. We want to do our best to avoid them. But if you hit them, it's not a big deal. Screw it. Just do your best not to. Okay, so let's translate this. we've got our index 1 down here on the G string, right? Got my hand on the G string. Anyway, okay. And then middle finger, number 2, down here on the E on the 2nd fret. And then ring finger, number 3, right in the middle there on the B string on the 3rd fret, okay? You see how I have my hand arched here? So that way, my finger isn't accidentally touching a neighboring string. All right, sound it out. That's what we're going for. And if you hear some of this, you're going to. It's the first time you've ever played a D chord. You know, like, come on, man. Ease up on yourself. Go back to the E minor. Start getting good at the E minor and figuring out how to place your finger there. And then, when you're better at the E minor, start playing the G. All right? And then when you start getting the G, go back to the E minor. Play that. And then, go to the G. When you're up for it, go to the D. See, it's all about sounding it out, figuring out where you want to place your fingers, and growing from your mistakes, because you're going to be making them. It's not a big deal. All right. So you've got 2 weeks. Get to work. Get to work. Get that E minor down. Get that G down. And if you get around to it, get the D as well. Hey, thanks for watching and good luck. Oh, and I didn't want to forget, make sure you leave that thumbs up and a comment so that way you can get yourself entered into the raffle to win this guitar.